Hey there everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be looking at chapter 36 of IGCSE Economics 0455, which is International Specialization. Now, this is not that big of a chapter, but it's quite important because I've seen a lot of questions come up on this. So how would we define specialization? Specialization is the concentration of individuals, firms, regions, and or countries' economies on the production of particular goods or groups of goods and services. Now, let's look at some examples. Workers specialize in the work that they do. For example, doctors, lawyers, and teachers. Firms can also specialize in the products that they produce. For example, KFC, which is in the food industry, McDonald's as well, McDonald's in the burger industry. So they're all particularly specialized in their particular things that they are focusing on. We also have regions such as the Silicon Valley, Paris, which is also known for cosmetics. Then we also have governments which specialize in the production of goods and services that they have abundance of such as oil or gold, perhaps, if they have gold mines or oil reserves, right? Now let's look at some advantages as well. Advantages include efficiency gains. When you're specializing in something, there will be maximum or optimum use of the resources that you have. This will lead to better use of scarce resources, which can increase GDP, increase productivity, and eventually increase standard of living. Labor productivity. Workers become more skilled at what they do. I mean, if you're doing the same thing again and again, you're going to become the most skilled at it, right? Which enables better quality products to be produced. Over here, you can further add that this reduces the production cost of firms, increasing their profits, which could help increase the perhaps wages for workers, or maybe the firm could expand, and you could add different things that you can think of. Then you also have productive capacity. Increases GDP leads to economic growth. Now this could be due to increase in quality or quantity. Now you can see that we have this initial curve over here, but from here it goes like this instead of it going like this. Now that's because you're specializing in something, a particular good. So let's say you're specializing in the production of good B. So that means that you're going to increase your production of good B as much as possible and not that much of good A, right? Which is why the curve looks like this. Then we have economies of scale. Now, economies of scales are cost-saving benefits from large-scale operations. There's a whole chapter on this particular economies of scale, so I'll recommend you read that as well. This helps keep prices low and control inflation in the economy. Then there's improved competitiveness. Competitive prices will be relatively cheaper as demand and supply, as demand and supply are higher, I think. Yeah. Then disadvantages at the national level. Now you can see that I've mentioned national level here and here as well. Because the international level one, we'll talk about it in the next chapter, not over here. So over here, something like lack of variety for customers. So over here, we are looking at it in terms of a national level problem, right? Over specialization can cause structural or cyclical unemployment. And how does that happen? So let's say specialization does not, since you know specialization does not produce a variety of goods and services being produced, it focuses on the production of particular goods and services. It can be difficult for firms to survive if there's an economic downturn. If there's a recession, people are not demanding much from particular goods or from them, then that could cause structure or cyclical unemployment as their demand is low and they may have to lay off workers. Then lack of variety for customers. Now, for example, you know Apple, right? Let's say that Apple brings up with a new model and produces it only in two colors. Let's say green and black, I guess. So there is lack of variety for customers because they're specialized in the production of only those two things. Whereas we could have local suppliers that could be providing those particular products in different colors as well. So these devices lack variety, right? So often leads to standardized mass produced goods. Domestic customers look for an alternative, maybe imported products or maybe even products in the domestic economy from foreign suppliers, reducing competitiveness of domestic over specialized firms. So there's monotonous variety. Then we also have High labor turnover. It occurs when workers choose to leave their job in search of a more challenging and less boring one. Now, when you're told to do the same thing again and again, it becomes repetitive and boring, right? So, uh, when due to specialization, workers might get bored in the jobs that they do and might be leaving them willingly and going to look for other opportunities that can be more challenging and more exciting for them. So that's what high labor turnover means. Mobility. Now, mobility of two types. We have labor mobility and we have geographical, right? Labor geographical. Sorry, not labor, occupational rather. So when we talk about low labor mobility in terms of occupational, that means that since you're specialized in the work of only one particular job, you can't easily switch between jobs, right? That's what it talks about. Last but not the least, high labor cost. Now, if you're specialized in something, that means you have high skills in that particular job. If you have high skills, that gives you the right to demand for more wages, and this leads to specialized workers having higher wages or salaries, and which is something which is bad for firms because this increases their production cost, which eventually increases the price of the products that they produce. But again, you have something like economies of skill coming in and all that, which balances it. So that'll be all for this video. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, ta-da.